Do you ever think about the afterlife, or do you just live for the here and now? After you die, are you hoping you'll go to heaven, or are you afraid you may go to hell? Most world religions tell us there is life after death, and there are consequences for our actions here on this earth. The faithful are counting on going to heaven, a peaceful, joyful place where good people spend eternity with God.
Far beyond the ability to sustain life, I wondered, how could I be alive in this heat? You have to fight and gasp for any tiny bit of air, and this is how you breathe in hell. It was like, you don't have enough air. The odors in hell are so foul and putrid and disgusting. It's the smell of burning sulfur and an open sewer, burning flesh, everything you can imagine that's terrible. I had absolutely no strength in my body. You're completely void of any kind of strength in hell. Any movement took tremendous effort. It's completely terrifying beyond any words I can ever paint a picture of. I noticed there were these two creatures in the cell. I didn't realize what they were yet, but they were pacing, and they had a hatred for God and for me. They weren't animal, and they weren't human either. I don't know what they were, but they were like large protruding jaw, huge teeth, claws. And the one grabbed me and picked me up and threw me into the wall. I felt bones break. The other one picked me up and dug claws into my chest. It had about a foot-long claws. And I collapsed on the floor. They had no mercy whatsoever.
Previously we learned about near-death experience. In part 2 we learned about people who died and have entered mysterious tunnels. Then they would enter a light at the end of a tunnel and see a beautiful land. These lands normally have people living there. These people are usually dead relatives who come to greet the person. The question is, what are these beautiful lands and what are these people? According to one man who had a classic near-death experience, he, like everyone else, also entered the light at the end of the tunnel. Then he next saw a beautiful land with people living there. Some people he saw were the deceased and others were still alive. This is when he knew something was wrong. What he saw next was disturbing. His name is Brian Melvin. He saw a brick house far away in the distance. Then he saw people running out of the house and over the hill to meet him. They said they loved him and said welcome to heaven. The people he saw looked like people that had died and people who were still alive on earth. He noticed their eyes were not right. Their eyes looked very similar to a reptile's eyes. He realized they were not people at all. He saw one change into his mother and then he realized these were not people at all. Then they turned into what they really were. He realized they are demons giving the illusion of people. They would try and rip him apart. He then needed to use the name of Jesus Christ to stop them from ripping him apart with their claws. The reptilian demon motioned Brian to follow it. Then they reached to the end of the horizon. The creature then tore a hole in the sky with its claws. This is when Brian could see through the hole. He saw a very dark place with a dirty, dusty road. He walks into the hole and onto this path. He then realized he just stepped out of a cube that was giving the illusion of being outdoors. He saw millions of other cubes with vortexes dropping people off into these cubes. These are people that had just died on Earth. He saw demons giving the illusions of dead relatives to people and welcoming these people to heaven. He looked around and realized he was in a huge cave-like place. He realized he was under the earth. He then knew he was in hell. Let's have a look at what the demons of hell he saw looked like. He saw gargoyles without wings, and a devil-looking demon. He also saw a reptilian demon. Let's look at what a gargoyle looks like. They usually look part humanoid and part dog. Sometimes they have little horns like a lamb. He saw a devil-like creature in hell. It was part human with red skin. It had bat-like wings, so it is part human and part bat. These are very important points to remember. We will look at another person's testimony of what they saw in hell. Her name is Mary Baxter. She had an out-of-body experience. She, like Brian, also went to hell. She was guided by Jesus. She saw the same place Brian Melvin was in. She saw the cells from afar. She saw Satan looking very similar to the devil off the movie The Legend. Notice how the devil is part humanoid. Also, he has horns like that of a bull. She saw a demon the size of a bear with hair all over its form. It also had the face of a bat. She also saw another demon with hair all over its form. It had the face of a wild boar. There is a pattern that is seen in these descriptions of demons. The pattern is this. It is as if an intelligence took an armature and placed different animal parts all over its form. For example, Mary saw one that was part bat with fangs. It was the size of a grizzly bear having hair all over its evil form. The devil is part humanoid and part bull. He has bull horns and hoofed feet. Bill Wise also was in hell. He saw two demons that were about 13 feet tall. One looked part reptile and part humanoid. The other was part fish with fins on its body and part humanoid.
That's what you end up noticing. It's like as if somebody had just taken an armature and had decided, oh, I know, I'm gonna, it's like they've taken a drawing and they basically said, I'm gonna give it a human-like form, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give it hair all over its body, give it a face of a bat, hair, and maybe give it wings of an eagle, or maybe wings of a bat. That's what I'll do. It's almost like as if some kind of intelligence has done that, and it's like as if that's what it's like. It's like as if it's like, I wonder what animal parts I should actually place on this creature. If you think of it like that, same with the gargoyles, then they almost look similar to that of a dog, depending on what kind of a sculpture it is, with maybe bat-like wings sometimes. And that's what it's like. You have to understand is that the demons down in hell have superhuman strength. Usually, they sometimes feel like but if you touch some of them, they feel like hot coals, like there's something burning on the inside of them, as Mary Baxter described. And also, we know that they can create illusions down in hell, and they've got super speed. Brian Melvin said that they're very acrobatic. They move extremely quickly like lizards. And they also have telepathic abilities. So you need to remember that. They've usually got telepathic abilities, superhuman strength, superhuman speed. They can move very, very fast. And of course they can create illusions. So that's basically what kind of creatures they are. And a lot of them, these creatures have usually got, some of them look almost human, but a lot of them have almost humanoid characteristics with different animal parts connected to them. That's the pattern that I noticed. So in the next video, we're going to be looking to see if there's any creatures that match these characteristics, to see if there is creatures on Earth that are connected to hell in some way. So that's what we'll be looking into next. So bye for now.
Can you see the pattern now? A lot of demons in hell have usually got different animal parts connected to their evil forms. We have gargoyles, devils, reptilians, etc. They have special abilities, like superhuman speed, superhuman strength, telepathy, creating illusions, imitating the dead, etc.